Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Shop on TV with moi, Rob Locke with an E. It's not just an E, it's a wee. How are you? It's almost the weekend. I suppose technically it's the start of the weekend. And I'm here for tonight and tomorrow night as usual. And tonight we have my favourite product, my desert island product, my every time I go to a hotel, my every time I go anywhere product, or products actually, which comprise of a duvet and a pillow. And this is no ordinary duvet, no ordinary pillow. This is Mulberry Silk. And so tonight, because this is my favourite product, it's just you, me, and a dog named McGee. Oh, it's me, you, and a dog named Sue, I think is officially the one it's supposed to have been. But anyway, so look, I have an iPad here that has got a completely blank screen on it, as you can see. So this is where I will receive emails. So please be part of the show. You can email studio@shopontv.co.uk. Or you can send us a message through our web interface at shopontv.co.uk. Click the live on air button. There's the web box. Put in your message. We can't reply to that one, but we can reply to email if your email, your message demands, requires, or requests a reply. There's YouTube. Please do go to YouTube and follow us, click the bell icon, do all of that gubbins, and then you will get notifications every time we go live, every single night. No more guesswork. And if you scroll down a little further, you'll see everything we have on the show tonight. When you're buying some bedding, you also need a good water feature. And we've got 3 of them, and they are great, actually. I love the well, the wishing well, which is the first one, is lovely. But the other one is a rock planter, and then the third one is a series of rocks that they look like a... Oh, actually, somebody's already got a wishing well in their basket. Hooray! These are a really good price. They're made out of very, very high quality hand-painted resin, and they have a solar panel which runs them, but also charges a built-in battery so that at night time when there is no light, they will continue to work. And you fill them with water and they just keep going. They are wonderful little water features. And we've got one in our garden, actually, in our garden set outside. That very one. Well, not that very one just like it. Now, where to start with Mulberry Silk? First of all, I want to say one thing. Even though we always start with the duvet, I want to talk about the pillow briefly, because if you are already a Mulberry Silk customer, you've bought the bedding, and you've done what a lot of people do, which is you go, well, I'll buy a bit, one of these, or I'll buy a bit there. You're dipping your toe in the water to try it out and make sure that all the claims that I'm about to make tonight are true. And then you found out, yeah, all the claims that he's about to make are true. And so you go, I need myself another pillow. We only have a few pillows left in stock. There aren't a huge amount to go round, and we're waiting for more stock to come in, and hopefully that will be soon. But it's on the boat at the moment, as they say. So if you want to get yourself a Mulberry Silk pillow, £40 is the price, down from £60. Get as many as you need. They're all available on PayPal as well. £14.98 per month, and £4.95 and P. That's capped postage and packing, so you could put 82 pillows in your basket, and it would still only be £4.95 postage and packing for all of that per order. So as soon as you start a new order, it starts again. But in the same order, once you check out basically everything in your basket, only the first £4.95 is always capped. And so, Mulberry Silk, let's start at the beginning, shall we? If you're watching for the very first time, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, first of all. Welcome home. Welcome to your TV home. We're live every night between midnight and 3 on ITV1 and STV. We are Shop on TV. We are official shopping show with ITV, partnership with ITV and STV to bring you the latest, greatest products, and we always endeavour to bring them to you at the very best prices. This is, when you look at this, £40 for a pillow, or if we're up on for example, the duvets, we're over the £100 mark. There's a good reason for that. So indulge me if you will, even if you're new. Who'd have thought you'd sit up at night this late listening to some bloke on telly talking about a duvet? But remember, I went viral a few years ago as David Brent, duvet salesman. You can always go and Google it if you want to. And I was a meme for saying that I no longer swear at my duvet, I swear by it. And there's a reason for that, because Mulberry Silk, if you've never heard of Mulberry Silk before, allow me to regale you with the story of what it is. It's only the best silk money can buy. And I do literally mean that. Now, being on ITV1 and STV, we can't make claims like that unless they're true. It is regarded in the silk industry that Mulberry Silk, specifically AAA grade, which everything in these bedding items is absolutely, hands down, without a doubt, the very finest silk money can buy. If you had a truckload of money and wanted the very finest, you couldn't buy finer than what we're bringing you tonight. So that's number one. Number two, well, all right, fair enough, but why is Mulberry Silk, AAA grade Mulberry Silk, so important in bedding? Well, it's the great insulator. It's used in ski clothing and camping gear and things like that because silk has some very, very unique properties, and one of them is temperature management. I say management because unlike hollow fibre or your feather types of filling that you get in a lot of duvets, they retain heat, but there's no upper limit to how much heat they retain. The heat just builds up and up and up and up. It's trapped essentially underneath the duvet, or if it's the pillow, you know, it's making your head get hot, it's making you sweat. Whereas silk is different. It manages temperature, it regulates temperature. Mother Nature is really the only person, well, probably science does as well, but I don't know the exact science. But it is a unique property to silk and natural fibres. So that means that a Mulberry Silk duvet will keep you warm, and I do mean warm in the winter, even in -7 degrees, I've tested it, but even lower than that. And it will keep you cool. It will actively help to keep you cool you down in the summer. So that means that these duvets, they are all year round duvets. You only need one duvet now, and that is a Mulberry Silk duvet. The first thing you'll think is, well, that doesn't look very thick. And the answer is no, it isn't. But Mulberry Silk, or silk itself, comes from silkworms, right? Silkworms, when they cocoon themselves and then metamorphose into a moth, the silk is the protective layer that is essentially staving off the elements and keeping the worm inside safe, and that's extreme temperatures. It's also protecting it against predators. Silk's actually the second strongest natural material known to man, second only to spider's web actually. So if you sort of blew it up, you had a strand of silk and a bar of steel, the silk would be stronger basically. So and what the Mulberry Silk company do is they take the full cocoons and they put them in water, basically tepid water, and they unravel, and inside every single duvet and every single pillow are full strands of Mulberry Silk. And each strand, each cocoon, depends on the size of the cocoon, they vary, but from usually between 1 and 2 miles. And you can see actually every duvet has a little vanity window, so you can open it up and you can see all of the silk inside. So literally there's about 15 miles of silk in a duvet. So the two skilled people, it takes two skilled technicians a couple of days to make one duvet. These are all handmade. So they take these strands of silk, they lay them across the top, they stitch them into place, they draw them down the length of the duvet, stitch around the outsides, and then they add these cassettes. So that means that the silk, because they're full strands, and because they are anchored by these cassettes, they cannot move around. They can't bunch, they can't clump. Whereas, of course, if you've got little bits of Mulberry Silk or little bits of other fibre, and this is inherently a problem with a lot of duvets, right? You do get clumping. But here's the thing. With this duvet, it's got a 10-year guarantee. 10 years. Now, that doesn't mean after 10 years it just stops working, because anecdotally, people have reported owning their Mulberry Silk duvets for 15, 20, 25, even 30 or more years. So what I always say is when you decide you're going to get this now, it's probably, I think we're still on the Mulberry Silk pillow details. Is that because, just checking with the producer, she's changing it now, okay. The same applies to the pillow, by the way, except that's got slightly less Mulberry Silk in it. So, I forgot what I was saying now. I lost my train of thought, sorry. Oh, 15, 20. So basically what I often say is this is potentially the last duvet you ever need to buy. If you're middle-aged now, your duvet that you're about to buy could very well outlive you. If you buy this for your kids, say your teenage kids, or even, you know, if they're less than 10, they will still potentially, as long as they look after it, be using their duvets, their Mulberry Silk duvets, well into their middle age. But you think, well, yeah, but all right, that's great if it lasts that long, Rob. But how do you keep it fresh? How do you keep it clean? Oh, did I mention? No, I'm about to now. They are machine washable. You can put, even a super king size duvet will fit into a standard 7.5 kilo front loading washing machine. And the pillows, you could actually get 2 pillows. They are machine washable as well. You could technically get 2 pillows. I like to do them one at a time just so they've got room to move around. And you can literally tumble dry them. You wash them basically on a low heat, 30 degrees. Use your regular detergents, use your regular fabric softener if you wish. Please don't use bleach. And if you're going to use oxy whiteners, please make sure you get the liquid gel and that it is silk safe. The powders are not. So, but there is a silk. It's Vanish that make it. I'm sure other brands do as well. There is a silk safe liquid gel, and that's fine. You can put regular bedding on these as well. If you want to put a duvet cover on this, you can. You don't have to. You can use it in the US. They call it a comforter. It is beautiful. It's a wonderful, very bright, vibrant, crisp white, and it looks great on a bed with nothing on it whatsoever, just naked. The pillowcase, the pillow row, you will need to put a pillowcase on. Now, apparently we've got a review. Let's have a look here and see if I can enlarge this, because from Rob and Rachel. Hello, Rob, good name. And Rachel, also good name. We have the Mulberry Silk pillows, just unbelievably good, they say. Pillow covers with the mattress topper, all great. Looking now at the duvet. Great show, Rob and Rachel. Thank you. And they say, I like your jacket, Rob. It's very dashing. Oh, that's Jason who says that, actually. Will you be selling it during the show? Well, make me an offer, Jason. We'll see, see how we go. And if you want, I can sign it, and that will obviously devalue it, but that's up to you. So I'm going to hold on to my pillow because I like it. So let me just give you an idea of the prices on the duvet. These prices are the same as we sold these for 20 years ago. PayPal is available on all of them, and a single is normally £169, our price £139. Double, usual price £239, we have it for £179. King is normally £259, we have it tonight for £199, and the Super King is £279, we have it for £219. Now again, bear in mind, if this is going to last you a minimum of 10 years, you're looking at 14, 18, 20 and £22 a year respectively for the single through to the Super King. But they will potentially last a lot longer. I had another question. Can you put them in the dryer? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Here's how you can dry them. Dry them in the tumble dryer on a low heat. So also, if like me, you've got a washer dryer, you can literally set the cycle so that it does the wash and then goes onto the dryer and out they come dry. What I do, because I live in a flat, I have a clothes horse, and I've got a Super King duvet and my son's got the King. So I'll fold them in two, put them over the clothes horse. The reason I fold them is so they don't drape on the floor. But they will dry within about an hour, even in the winter when it's not particularly warm inside the flat. Although if you've got the central heating on, they'll dry even quicker. Now, if you want to, the other thing you can do when you get a bit of sunshine, if you do have a garden or if you have a balcony and you have a washing line, once a year, throw them on the washing line, and the UV rays from the sun will actually also help to cleanse the silk. Here's the most important thing about this duvet and pillow. Because with a hollow fibre, a synthetic fibre, or with any other filling like a duck, goose or down, any sort of feather product, because they get very hot, and also we sweat into our bedding, right? Some people sweat as much as a pint a night. So that is a recipe for bacteria. Bacteria love to live in hollow fibre and feathers, as do dust mites. And in fact, within a relatively short period of time, you can do the research for yourself. The weight of your pillow and the weight of your duvet will increase, and it increases because of the number of dust mites that are infesting it, and also their feces, which is actually the allergen, by the way, and also when they die, their carcasses. But here's the thing. This is, as far as we know, the only duvet that carries the Allergy UK seal of approval for effectiveness against dust mites. Dust mites hate silk. It's a very dry or arid environment for them. It's akin to us living in the Sahara Desert. A few may stray in and may stay for the day, but they will not stay forever. So this is phenomenal if you have allergies, but also even if you don't have allergies. It's phenomenal from the point of view that one of the reasons you're not throwing your duvet and throwing your pillow away every few months, or, you know, some people keep their duvets for years, and that's just, because I don't know if people necessarily realise why they're getting heavier. And washing does not get rid of what is inside them, by the way. And plus, you know, with a synthetic fibre or a feather product, you've got to take it to the dry cleaners anyway, and that's expensive. So one of the reasons these last so long, and one of the reasons they will never ever gain weight, is because dust mites will not like, or do not like, and will generally not live inside this duvet. This allergy certificate, by the way, has to be renewed every single year. And for the last 30 plus years, this has been renewed every year, because these come from the RK Sales is the official distributor in the UK, and they are made by the official Mulberry Silk Company Limited. So these are the real deal. They are absolutely the real deal. So wonderful in terms of also you can wash them as much as you want. You can wash the duvets. I do them usually once a month, particularly in the summer. If you know they can get stained yellow because of the sweat and things like that when it gets very hot if you don't have air conditioning. So you can refresh them whenever you want. But also you'll see with our wonderful camera operator, he's going to show you at some point on the front of the bed, that in front of me is actually a Super King. Rich, I don't know if you can see, just over literally by my foot here. See how that's packaged? That is a Super King. That is the size of it when it's folded up. You could put that in half a carry-on suitcase. I will often, if I'm travelling for an extended period of time, I'll put a duvet in one side of a carry-on suitcase and a pillow in the other, and I'll take my bedding with me. At the very least, take your pillow with you. Because the pillows, by the way, they have a fibre core, and that is purely for support. That is purely for loft. And then you have mulberry silk wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped around the outside. And they are very comfortable. You only need, well, I always used to sleep with two pillows, but again, those synthetic pillows, because they're just rubbish, aren't they? And they push down. I don't think you would want to have one of these on top of another. I think you'll find that one is sufficient, even if you do like to have a bit more of sort of height in the support of your head and your neck. However, do get two if you've got a partner, because this is the other thing. We'll go back to the duvets in a minute. Because of the natural temperature regulation, you can have a duvet over you and a partner. Your partner could run really hot, and you could run really cold. Everyone gets a bespoke night's sleep, because how do they adjust for your temperature? They basically do it for the temperature that is right for you. Okay, let me try something that makes sense in English. I just couldn't get a hold. Sorry, it's all week I've been getting up early, and so my brain's not quite just readjusted to being up at 1:14 in the morning. These products do not have a TOG rating. That is for basically feather products and synthetic products. This will adjust. The duvet will adjust to whatever temperature is right for you, because you'll reach a certain temperature, and after that, it will dissipate the rest of the heat, and you'll always be at the right temperature for you, no matter what that is and no matter how it differs. So two people under the same duvet will each get a completely different experience, comparative to each other, but perfect for them, if that makes sense, right? Oh, I've got some more emails. Let's have a look. Oh, let's see. Have you moved studios, Dan? Yes, we have. We are. We're in our new Warrington studio. We have been for about a month now, I think, actually. Getting close. Oh my God, these pillows are the best, says Kev. I wish I could try them for the first time again. It's like your first love, isn't it, Kev? And once you fall in love with a mulberry silk pillow or duvet, you will never fall out of love with it. Do you have a fitted sheet in mulberry? Hayley, that's Hayley, yes. The answer is yes, we do. They do make one. I have them because I literally sleep on and under mulberry silk. So it's essentially just like a duvet, but with an elasticated gusset. Unfortunately, we don't stock them, but you can go to RK Sales, I think it's .co.uk. We've got the mattress topper. Now, The reason you might want to go for a mattress topper is we also have the Cocoon mattress, which is the Mulberry Silk mattress. If you don't want to buy a whole mattress, maybe your mattress is relatively new, but you want the benefit of sleeping on silk, you can get a mattress topper. But the fitted sheets, you need to go to RK Sales, which is the official distributor's website, excuse me. Just disregard that. That was an act. Moving on. Sorry. Go to that was Sean Connery saying that word. Anyway, they probably do have them. They call them a mattress. Oh, she's talking about like a sheet that you get with your duvet cover. Oh, I see. No, we don't. No, we don't do silk. We don't do silk sheets. The reason, he gave us an answer to this. Raised from RK Sales, because silk sheets are very, very slippery, and it would actually be awful to sleep on a silk sheet. Apparently, so I'm told. But if you want mulberry silk underneath you as well, you can get the mattress protector, and that is on the RK Sales. So here it is. We can show you. Oh, sorry, this is the mattress pad. Okay, sorry, I thought Leslie was going to take us to RK Sales website. Apologies. Okay, so here is, this is not the mattress protector, Leslie. It's not. No, it's not. I'm telling you. Sorry, I'm arguing with my producer live on the air. Leslie, the mattress cover is like the size of a duvet with an elasticated gusset. I have them on all my beds. We don't sell those, but we do sell these, is what I'm trying to say. So, but you can get those from RK Sales website. Okay, right, anyway, sorry about that. I know my Mulberry Silk, I'm telling you. Let's read some more emails here. Alfie, hi Alfie, how you doing? Please, may you get in bed? No, not tonight. Let's get a first-hand review. I can give you a first-hand review. I sleep under and on Mulberry Silk every single night. So does my son. We all have Mulberry Silk bedding. Everyone that works on the crew has Mulberry Silk bedding. In fact, we're just about to, while we're in Warrington, we're about to all move into a sort of a crew home, HMO, and we're getting Mulberry Silk bedding for everyone's going to have Mulberry Silk bedding there. I don't know many people, so I recommend Mulberry Silk to everybody, absolutely everybody that I have any influence over whatsoever. I have said, you've got to get Mulberry Silk. In my mind, it is absolutely the best bedding that money can buy. It just truly is. And if you don't get it, you will not sleep as well as you could with Mulberry Silk, whether it's a duvet, a pillow, or a combination of all of the above. Where are we? Who's this? Hi there. Oh, this is Shirley. Hi, Shirley. How you doing? Says, you're doing amazing with convincing me to purchase the Mulberry Silk items. Well, thank you. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm giving you my honest account of what it's like to own these products. And sometimes you just get a product that is blooming good, and this is blooming good. By the way, I didn't even mention this yet. The pillows and the duvets, they have Egyptian cotton covers, 230 thread count. So even that's luxury, and it's long fibre cotton as well, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. What would you recommend out of everything on offer? Thank you, loving the show. Also love the jacket. Thank you very much. Obviously, I'll stick this on eBay after the show. Or other auction websites are available. What would I recommend? Look, to be honest with you, I'd recommend you get a pillow and duvet, and if you can, get the mattress as well. I've got the Cocoon mattress also, because then you're sleeping on Mulberry Silk. You've got the pillow that your head's on, which will help keep your head cool in the summer and keep it nice and warm in the winter. And I'd have the duvets. However, it's an outlay, it's an investment. That's what I've done. But I think maybe if you're skeptical or you're just unsure and you want to try it first, get a pillow. If you can afford a duvet, certainly get a duvet, because I honestly, here's the thing, right? Here's the truth of the matter. In order to get a good night's sleep, a deep, regenerative, recuperative, restorative night's sleep, where you wake up in the morning and you feel refreshed, and so on. And also to heal, when we sleep, we heal internally and externally. And in order to do that, you have to go through, there are 5 stages of sleep. And you have to go through all of them. And you have to go through all of them several times. But if you get woken up in the middle of that cycle of 5 stages, you can't sort of go back to sleep and carry on where you left off. You have to start all over again. So what happens to a lot of people is they end up with a situation where they keep getting woken up, and that interrupts the cycle of sleep, and you get what's called toxic sleep. So have you ever woken up in the past, even though you slept for a long time, but you still feel tired? And what do? We say, oh, I slept funny, or I don't know, something like that. That's not your fault. That is, there are several factors. Here are the factors you need to take into consideration, right? Number one, the environment. Is the room too hot? Now, if you've got a Mulberry Silk duvet, it doesn't really doesn't matter what the temperature in the room is, as long as it's not stifling, right, or too cold where you're freezing your whatsits off. Because with a regular duvet, and when I say regular, I mean, again, synthetic fibre, artificial fibre, or any of the sort of feathers, is because they build up and trap heat, eventually you overheat. So it is absolutely guaranteed that you're going to, at some point, get too hot, and you're going to throw the duvet off. And when you get too hot, you wake up, because you don't throw duvets off in your sleep. You wake up, you throw the duvet off. That's interrupted your sleep, right? Then, particularly, I mean, even in the summer, unless it's really hot at night, and we do get some days when it's like that, but generally, you start to cool down as soon as the duvet's off, and then, what happens? You get too cold. So what do? You wake up again, and you pull the duvet on. And all night long, it's duvet off, duvet on, duvet off, duvet on. You know, or you're sticking your foot out, or you're sticking your bum out. So that's number one. The other thing is, whether it's dark in the room, we work on a circadian rhythm, so light in the room prompts us to wake up. So you want to get your room as dark as possible. Smell, very important. It's one of your strongest senses, and it's the one a lot of people forget about. If you can have a nice aroma in the bedroom, that's always good. That's why a lot of people have a lavender essential oil diffuser. That's always regarded as being good for sleep. So that's that, but also sound. If you live in a noisy area, like I live on a main road, so my son and I struggle to sleep sometimes because, especially working shifts, we're in the middle of our night, and we've got, everyone else is going to work, and there are horns honking and all kinds of things like that. So you want to try and reduce the sound. After that, it's a factor of your bedding. Your mattress, is it comfortable? If you've got springs sticking in you, are you supported? Are you getting too hot because the mattress is also made of synthetic fibres, and you're getting you end up lying on a bed of heat? But then it's really your duvet and your pillow. And those are the two. If all the other elements are as close as you can get them to being ideal, if you haven't got a Mulberry Silk duvet, and I do mean this, or a silk duvet like this, I can't guarantee it, but I would say I'm pretty certain that it is going to be impossible for you to ever sleep as well as you will when you do have a Mulberry Silk duvet. Number one, it's light, it hugs you, it cocoons you. It's a cocoon fibre, that's what it does. Number two, you never get too hot, and number two, you never get too cold. So to give you an example, the very first time I experienced Mulberry Silk was right in lockdown, in the middle of lockdown, and because it was just after they'd shut all the hotels, when only key workers were allowed to stay in the hotels, because I was working in Peterborough and I live in London. So our CEO, who's the same CEO who runs Shop on TV as well, he put these, they're called bunker bins. Google a bunker bin, it's worth a look. And they're basically porta cabins for one, with a little bed and a little, microwave and fridge and a little bathroomette. And 6 foot by 8 foot by 7 foot kind of thing. And in the dead of winter, and these were in the car park at this studio where I was working. So I had just done a show with the owner of Mulberry Silk, and or the RK Sales, the distributor of Mulberry Silk in the UK. And I was so impressed with what he said, and I thought, okay, but yeah, come on, pull the other one. So I did buy it, but initially he lent me a single duvet, and I liked it so much, I bought it. I still have it, actually, and my son and I use it for sitting in front of the TV when it gets a bit chilly. Saves us a fortune on heating bills, by the way. So I thought, I'm going to put this to the test. So I stripped down to my boxers, and it's -7 degrees outside it was. I had no heating inside the bunker bin whatsoever. I got into bed, suffice it to say, I was fairly cold. And I wrapped myself, I cocooned myself, you could say, in this single Mulberry Silk duvet. And I waited. And I started to warm up, I got to my sort of nice, comfortable temperature, and I thought, okay. And I literally wrapped it, I tucked it underneath me, I was like right up around my neck, I was like, I was totally in this thing. And I thought, it's gonna overheat. And I waited. It's going to overheat. It's going to overheat. Yeah, it's got to overheat, right? It's going to, and it never did. Just didn't. Because you can keep it on and it will not get to the point where you have to take it off again. That's the point. That's what silk does. Also, silk, I didn't mention this, sorry, so much. 30% of its own weight, it will wick away in moisture. So when you do sweat into silk, it's wicked away. So you're not, you know, sometimes you wake up in the night because you've sweated into your duvet because you're so hot, and the duvet is literally moist. You are damp. And that dampness keeps you awake, right? That is also a thing of the past when you buy Mulberry Silk duvets. Remember, guaranteed for 10 years, but will last you significantly more. Dust mite free, or as close as you can get it. Allergy UK seal of approval. If you've got kids who've got allergies and who've got asthma and things like that. I had terrible chronic asthma when I was younger, and it was I had to have dust mite injections or anti-dust mite injections and all kinds of things like that. And what the doctor said to my mum is try and keep the room as dust free as possible and allergen free as possible, and that's what this is. So it's the last duvet possibly you'll ever need to buy, at least for 10 years. And also, oh, I'm sorry, I'm such a wally. It's got a money back guarantee as well. You don't have to buy it tonight. You can try it tonight. I mean, you give us your money, but you'll get every penny back, obviously, except the P&P because we have to pay the postman. If you're not completely satisfied, there isn't even a limit on that. I mean, we say 30 days, but this is not from us. This is from RK Sales. This is from the distributor. All their contact information is on the tag. You call them, and as Ray, the owner of RK Sales, Ray Kennedy, Ray Kennedy, right? RK, but it's ARKAY Sales. He says he's a wonderful Scottish chap from Glasgow, and he always says, we will give you your money back with the same civility we took it from you. And you'll get to talk to a real person. They actually answer the phone. Real people answer the phones. And the customer service is second to none. So even if it was 2 months from now and you went, you know what, I just can't get on with my Mulberry Silk, they will take care of you. If you ever have a problem with duvet, pillow, mattress, anything, the mattress has got a 60-night sleep trial, by the way, so we'll talk about that in a minute. And you're literally lying on a pillow top chock full of Mulberry Silk. So what's the difference between Mulberry Silk and regular silk? So, is that a question? Oh, I didn't even know that was a question. Let's see. Let me go through some more emails. Alan here. Can you tell me if the pillow keeps your head cool? Yes, that's why you get the Mulberry Silk. These are flying the Mulberry Silk pillows. I don't even know if we're going to have many of these left. Yes. In fact, actually, we've got. I think we've got a. I've got it here. Sorry. We have. We have. Ian's apparently sent in a little. There it was. Sorry, I had to scroll up, Leslie. Apologies. Okay. So Ian says, hi team, we purchased the Mulberry Silk duvet and pillows a couple of years ago. Thank you for this. I appreciate it. And agree with Rob that it's the best duvet we've ever owned. My wife always felt the cold before and I'd be overheating, but we both get the perfect night's sleep with the Mulberry Silk bedding. Absolutely. And yeah, silk wicks away 30% more of its own weight in moisture. So this is the pillow that will allow you, for your head not to overheat. You know, have you ever done that thing where you have to keep rotating your pillow because it gets too hot? That won't happen with this. And also you won't wake up with a clammy head or wet hair. A quarter of the stock of the pillow is now gone if everyone checks out. So I mean, look, there are two types of people here. There's people here who believe me, and there are people who won't believe me. But this is why I'm saying you've got a money-back guarantee. Plus, by the way, can I just say, I don't get any commission for selling these. I get paid a rate to come in and present the show. That's it. I could sell 1 million of these, or you could, I'm not selling them, they sell themselves, right? You could buy 1 million of these. I don't get an extra penny, not even an extra cup of coffee. So that's number one. Also, we're on ITV and STV. We are under incredible stringent guidelines from Ofcom, the Advertising Standards Authority, and ITV themselves. And our senior manager at ITV actually is on the board of both of those organisations, the board of directors. So, you know, your money's safe because you can't buy. There is no website that has the oversight that we have. In fact, there aren't any shops, I don't think, even that have the oversight that we have. So when I say these things, they have to be true and accurate. And at the end of the day, whether you believe me or not, you've got a money-back guarantee. Absolutely cast ironclad, no quibble, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If you're not happy with your duvet, your pillow, anything you buy tonight, and this is not from us, this is not from Shop on TV even, this is from the actual supplier. This is from RK Sales. So, Ian, yes, thank you very much for that, Ian. I really appreciate it. And a lot of, if you are sceptical, as I say, at least get a pillow. At least get a pillow, because generally what people will do is they'll get a pillow and they'll go, blimey, Rob was right. And then they come back and get the duvets and everything else. And that's fine. Now, it is worth noting that because silkworms are seasonal, and also mulberry silk comes from a particular way that, a AAA grade, the way that the worms are fed. I'll tell you that in a minute. That's seasonal too. Because the Mulberry Silk Company and RK Sales are such ethical companies, businesses. RK Sales has been around for 60 years and more than 30 for the Mulberry Silk Company. If they can't get the full strand, full length, 100% AAA grade mulberry silk, they just stop manufacturing. So we get these big gaps in when we can bring you these products. So when this sells out and the duvets sell out, it may be a while before they come back, because they'd rather that than sell you an inferior product. They will never use leftover bits and bobs. They will never cobble together a duvet just for a sale. They'd rather keep their standards at the absolute highest, and that's what you're buying here. You can't buy better, in my experience. So, how long have you had yours, Rob? Okay, Andy asked that question. Hi, Andy. How you doing? Lockdown. Since lockdown, that's when I got my single duvet, and then after that, that was it. I literally got, didn't I, Dave? Dave, my son, is over there. He's the floor manager. Straight after that, we got for both beds, didn't we? Everything. 2 pillows for me, Super King duvet, the mattress protector, and also David, he has a king size bed, he's got it. And the pillows are still going strong. They're good as new because we can wash them. The duvets are still going strong. The mattress pads, I think they call them mattress pads. Leslie would have to have a look on RK Sales website. I can't remember exactly what they call them. No, Leslie, please hear me. They haven't got any mattress toppers. Oh, okay, they must have sold out of them. Fine, okay. I see what Leslie was saying. Sorry, yeah, they don't have them on RK Sales website. Sorry about that. But they used to, and I've got them. And so, yeah, 4 years. Is it 4? When was lockdown? Actually, it's probably more than 4 years now. 5 years ago. So I've had mine 5 years. And I wash them regularly. And they come up beautifully. They come up like new. Duvets, pillows, all of it. You know, the only thing that will probably wear out eventually is actually the cotton on the top, even though it is Egyptian cotton. And it's long fibre. By the way, I did say I'd explain what that means. So, well, Leslie, our producer's had hers 15 years and still going strong. So the 10-year guarantee is just the manufacturer's guarantee, but RK Sales said, you know, look, if it's 15, 20 years later and you have a problem, they will always take care of you. Always. When you buy this, you buy it for life, not just for Christmas. So what was I going to explain? Oh yeah, long fibre cotton. So if cotton is picked by machine, it tends to break the fibres, and that's short fibre cotton. Sorry, I'm over here. And short fibre cotton, and it tends to be brittle, and it's not as good quality as long fibre. Long fibre is cotton that is picked by hand, and so it doesn't break the fibre, so you get longer fibres. They're more malleable, they're softer, they're more protective, they're warmer. There are all these other problems. I mean, you know, do your own research. I have to say I'm not an expert on long fibre cotton. But so, yes, just forgot. When you buy a Mulberry Silk duvet or pillowcase, please, for the love of Joseph, don't put a polyester duvet cover or pillowcase on it, or any kind of synthetic fibre, because it will block the magical properties of the silk, right? So what I recommend, and I always say this on every show, is Egyptian cotton. You can go to Amazon. There are other places that will do it as well, but I bought mine from Amazon, and I think I got 400 or 500 thread count, very luxurious sheets. So I got a duvet set, which was 2 pillowcases and a Super King duvet, or a king for David, and then I got a mattress, what do you call it, a fitted sheet. All of that cost me about 30 or 40 quid. It's dead affordable. Always put natural fibres on top of natural fibres, or all the things I've told you about Mulberry Silk will not work. Standard UK sizes as well, by the way. Why would I need a pillow cover but not on the duvet? Because you can see from the pillows, they've got the tag, and you know they're designed to go into a pillowcase, whereas the duvet, it's got a tag as well. You could cut the tags off if you want. I mean, to be fair, if you didn't want to put a pillowcase on the pillow, you don't have to. But as I say, there's a style of it's called a comforter in America, where they don't have a duvet cover. You can put a duvet cover on it, but you don't have to, because it just looks really good on its own, right? It's as simple as that. I would argue the pillow does, it still looks very nice, but you can see it's a pillow without a pillowcase, whereas the duvet, it looks like it's already got a cover on it. Does that make sense? And by the way, we've got silk pillowcases, which have been very, very, very busy. These are them over here. So we've got 4 different colours. They are 100% pure mulberry silk, both sides. So they are, now there is one caveat to that. Inside, they do have on one side a special fusion of cotton. It's like a layer of cotton that's fused into the silk, and that is for one reason and for one reason only. Silk's very slippery. They say smooth as silk, right? And your pillow would just keep popping out. So the cotton inside, the slight lining, is purely to keep your pillow inside the pillowcase. So you've got your Arctic blue, or not, yeah, Arctic blue. You've got your white, obviously. You've got your desert, which is that sort of sand colour, and that's very busy. The blue and the sand are very, very busy. And then you also have, which one did I miss? Sage, and sage, which is obviously that lovely green. They are so luxurious. Again, they are 100% mulberry silk, AAA grade mulberry silk, both sides, and they're only £35 per pillowcase. That is a really, really good price. So I was going to tell you about mulberry silk and where it comes from. So basically all silk comes from China. That's where it grows. It's where the silkworms live, basically. And if you feed the worm on mulberry leaves exclusively, then you get mulberry silk. If you feed them on anything else, and they are fed on all kinds of things, you get inferior quality silk. So mulberry silk is known as the king of silks. However, there are 2 different types of mulberry silk. If you feed them, there are black mulberry leaves, there are red mulberry leaves, and there are white mulberry leaves. If you feed them black or red, you get a very high, the worms, you get a very high quality of silk. If you feed them white mulberry leaves, you get AAA grade, the highest, the whitest, the brightest, the finest that money can buy. It does not exist on planet Earth, that has been discovered yet anyway, any form of silk higher quality than what's in here. And you've got, as I say, about 15 miles of mulberry silk. The cocoons, they unravel, and the entire length of the entire strand, unbroken, of each of those cocoons, and that's a mile, between 1 and 2 miles long. They average just over a mile. They are gathered together, stitched to the top of the sheet, the cotton, the Egyptian cotton sheeting, pulled down and woven, layered around until they cover the whole of the surface area. They stitch around the border, and then they stitch the cassettes, and that holds absolutely everything in place. So that is how you get a mulberry silk duvet. The pillow has a fibre core, purely for loft. These do not excuse me, ever lose their loft. They don't ever use their shape. They always come back to the right shape. And then around it, literally we have probably about 5 or 6 miles of mulberry silk wound on the outside. So your head is only ever touching, first of all, the Egyptian cotton on the outside, 230 thread count. Anything over 200 is considered luxury. And then inside, beyond the cloth of the cotton, you have the mulberry silk. So all of the benefits of mulberry silk are at your disposal. Thanks, Rob. I do like a good negotiation. I'm not negotiating. This is Jason. Unfortunately, I'm saving my pennies for the evening, for this evening's fantastic offers. I can offer you a good night's kip in my new mulberry silk sheets. There you go. Throw in the polo, and you can have both pillows. So it's my jacket and my polo, then, is it? I think people just want to undress me. I get that a lot. Usually when I'm dreaming. Freddie, hi Freddie, says hello to the master of mulberry. My skin feels awfully dry and crusty after a night's sleep with my polyester duvet. Do you think the mulberry silk would be better for my skin? You know what, Freddie, you make a very interesting point. Silk, yeah, I'd request you do your own research because I can't make any claims about silk, but there is a lot of research that's been done, and I believe it is known to have certain properties that are very kind to the skin. So I would say yes. Now, obviously, the silk inside the duvet is not touching your skin directly, but if you get the pillowcases, it is. They say, you know, there's an amino acid called sericin inside silk, which is said to have anti-wrinkle properties, but also it's said to be very good for your hair. So a lot of people actually will tie their hair, particularly if it's frizzy, they'll tie it in a silk wrap to help prevent wrinkling. So whatever the properties of silk are, and are proven to be, which you will find out on your own research, these are 100% pure silk. So if you're going to get those properties from anything, you're going to get them from those. And also the silk inside. There are only 2 ingredients in these duvets and pillows. Silk on the inside, well, except for the pillow, the fibre core, I mentioned that. But the duvets, silk on the inside and Egyptian cotton on the outside. So I think one of the things that it really is an important property of Mulberry Silk is that it's unlikely to dry you out. And also I think you might find, I'm just guessing, I'm not a scientist here, this is my view, my opinion, but probably the drying possibly is coming from the fact that you're getting too hot. Whereas that, of course, will be avoided when you use Mulberry Silk. So I would say if any duvet is going to have the beneficial properties you want, it's going to be this. There's nothing, and remember, Allergy UK seal of approval for anyone who's got allergies. So 40%, if everyone checks that now, 40% of the stock left of the pillow. So can I please suggest you actually check out, you pay for it and get it. You won't get any of the benefits if you don't. And remember, you're not just buying tonight, you're just trying tonight. Because if you sleep on the pillow and it doesn't do everything I've said and more, or under the duvet, or on top of the pad, I am going to, RK Sales are going to refund your money. It's as simple as that. Although I've always said, if you ever had any problem, I'd refund your money personally, because you know, I don't need to, because RK Sales will take care of you, because they are such a good company, honestly, such an honest and decent company. Hi Rob, at the start of the show you mentioned me. Oh, me and you and a dog named Sue. Should be Boo. Oh, is it Boo? Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with Johnny Cash, who was a boy named Sue, wasn't he? Sorry, a dog named Boo. You and me and a dog named Boo. Do you know that's one, and that was 1971 by Lobo. Do you know what, Fred? I was born in 1971, October 1971, and that song, for some reason, it was on one of my parents' mixtapes, and it just was stuck in my head. So yeah, so it was a girl called Sue, and it was a dog named Boo. Thank you very much I want to hear that song now. Matthew says, hi Rob, I bought my son the Mulberry Silk pillow today to try, as you have oh sorry, this is Linda, I apologise. As you have recommended it so highly. We love watching you on Shop on TV. Keep up the great work. And can you say hi to Linda and my son Matthew? Linda, thank you so much, and Matthew. And look, can I be straight with you guys here? I know this is a shopping show. I know the purpose of this as Shop on TV is a company. It is a for-profit company. It does want to sell things and it does want to make money doing it. But we do it with tremendous ethics. I was, because I'm actually involved, I'm part of the senior management here as well. And when we started from day one, I had this acronym, HIT, HIT. To be a HIT, you have to operate with honesty, integrity, and trust. And we don't let any pretenders to the throne into this company. Everyone that works for us, and we're a very small team, and they are all the best in the business, and they're all very, very decent, honest people. So, and our goal has always been that the way we would like to transact business with our viewers is, and in partnership with ITV and STV, is to find you the best products at the best prices, that are honest products, that also have integrity, and that you can also trust. And customer service, we work incredibly hard on our customer service, and we do that because we want you to be happy. Because let's face it, if I tell you something and it turns out to be a load of rubbish, you're never going to buy from me again. My trust, or our mutual trust, is incredibly important to me, selfishly because it keeps me employed, but also I'd like to think I'm actually a decent person, apart from arguing with my producer occasionally on the television. But do you know what? We love each other. She is amazing. Leslie is amazing, and she honestly, she's one of the nicest people you will ever meet, especially when she's had a large glass of wine. But we're all mates, really. We are. I mean, my son is the floor manager tonight. Rich is on cameras. I've known Rich for many, many years. Daniel, who owns the studio, is one of my best friends. Paul, the director, one of my best friends. Kieran's our other director. We've got Martha, our other producer. Sam, our other floor manager. The CEO I've known. He's been my best mate. I've known him for 25 years. I've known him since about 2000. Barton, the COO, amazing chap as well. I've known him for many, many years. He's a stalwart of the infomercial industry. He used to run the biggest infomercial company in the country. And so we've all been around the block. We've all got the T-shirt, and the novelty tote bag. And we decided we would not let anyone into our fold. We would not let any foxes into our hen house. So I want you to understand that, yes, we're on telly, and yes, we're flogging stuff in it, but it's good stuff. And you're getting good value for money. And I want you to know that I would never knowingly sit here and recommend anything to you unless I genuinely meant it. And I tell you for a fact, hand on my heart, may the Lord strike my son down, or what, so we apparently we never say that. Okay. No. He sleeps under this bedding that I got him. So I don't ever want him to be struck down. May he be showered with gifts. That doesn't work. No, honestly, hand on heart, I swear on the lives of all the people that I love who are near and dear to me, this is absolutely the best bedding money can buy, in my experience. And where's everyone gone? Oh no. We've had a mini rapture. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone's just fine. Thanos has not clicked his fingers. It's just really good. And I say to my friend, I can't say this to you. I wouldn't say this to you because A, you'd be offended and some people would take it the wrong way. But I've said to my friends, and I've used different wording, if you don't sleep under and on Mulberry Silk, you're missing a trick. You're honestly just not going to get the night's sleep. You're never going to benefit. You're never going to get the benefits that Mulberry Silk offers you if you don't sleep on it or under. And it's a better night's sleep. At the end of the day, look, let's be frank, shall we? Hi, I'm Frank. We spend a third of our lives in bed. I know we say that every time, but it's true. And I generally spend so much money on things to amuse myself while I'm awake. But yet, I'd spend so little on myself for the third of my life I'm asleep. And actually, it's not a third of my life. Do you know why? Come, Rich, come in. You know why? Let's see if Rich can do an amazing zoom in. Oh, it's not a third of my life because I'm not sleeping. Before I had Mulberry Silk, I wasn't sleeping as well. I was sleeping less, slightly less than a third of my life. But now I have got Mulberry Silk, I do sleep well. And it is so comfortable. And honestly, you never overheat. I mean, dead of winter. Bada bing, bada boom. What has happened here? The single duvet is now limited stock. We put this sign up when we have 10% of the stock or less remaining. That is a little orange flag to say it's about to sell out. So you've got to check out. When you go to shopontv.co.uk, you'll see a little live button. There it is. Scroll down, get yourself your products, and once you've added them to your basket, Leslie, can we show everyone the basket? Apologies, I know I'm teaching grandmother to suck eggs here. But you add one to your basket, go up to the top right, it says basket. Or you can just buy now if you want. And there's your basket, and there is your product, some other things you might want to add. Check out securely. And you can check out as a guest. You don't have to sign up for an account. If you do, it's free to sign up for an account. We never sell or share your information, ever. So basically it's name, address, phone number, email, so you get tracking information and such. And you can put your payment details in there and securely store your payment information. You can also have an address book which you can have as many addresses as you like. So you can actually send things directly to whomever you want to send them to. So right at Christmas, I sent stuff to my parents, I sent stuff to my friends in Pinner, and you can put their name and their phone number so the courier contacts them if they need. And you can have as many addresses as you want. So send these wherever. Remember the single, I thought the price was going to come up. There, $139 for the single, $179 for the double, $199 for the king, Super King 219. Very busy. We've actually got more in baskets than we have stock available on a lot of those sizes. But I want you to understand here. It's basically, it's the old saying: buy cheap, pay twice, right? The average person, and I forget the exact statistic, but it's an interesting one to look up if you've got a minute to have a little Google. You will change if you have a synthetic pillow or a feather pillow, you will have to change that on a regular basis. Now, you're supposed to only keep your pillows for 3 months. Most people keep them for longer. But how do you look? You go into a supermarket and you see 4 hollow fibre pillows for 20 quid, and you think, bargain! I'll get me some of them, and then when you use them, they're bloody useless, and you have to have 85 of them just to get enough support. They get hot, they get smelly, and you know what happens? You throw them away, don't you? How many times have you got to spend 20 quid over and over? Before you know it, you've certainly spent way more than you would have if you just got a Mulberry Silk pillow. You can have this 10 years from now. You can keep washing it. Pillow, washable. Duvet, washable. Same with the duvets. Synthetic or feather-filled duvets, they fill up with dust mites and their droppings and the carcasses of their dead relatives. And eventually you have to throw them away. Basically, a regular duvet is a mausoleum. It's a dust mite mausoleum. Plus body ash, bacteria. You know why they smell? Bacteria. A smell is basically a bacteria fart. It is. And you can't wash those. You just can't. You put a hollow fibre pillow in the washing machine. I've done it. It comes out like hardened candy floss up one end. You don't want hardened candy floss up one end, do you? No. Dave says, can I get a shout out to Rob's favourite Star Trek character, Chancellor Gowron. Chancellor Gowron, thank you for watching. What's this one up here? Andy says, I didn't mean for you and Leslie to fall out over my question. We're not falling out. I do apologize. Do you know, it's so dangerous, this job, because I know Leslie so well that when she'll say something in my ear and I'll just answer her and I'm like, oh, I'm on the telly. And it's honestly, it's just the way we are. We were both, and it turns out we were both right. We were technically both right. I knew I was right. Dave from Plymouth. Hi, Dave from Plymouth. I love Plymouth, one of my favourite places. Rob, I must apologise as you requested testimonials. Of course, David from Plymouth. I did ask him when he bought before if he would get back in touch and let us know. I requested testimonials for a recent Mulberry Silk show that you presented. However, following finally treating myself to a Mulberry Silk duvet I'd been after for a while, and due to its luxurious comfort, I fell asleep before sending the message. If that's the only excuse that's acceptable, really, isn't it, David? Although it appears deceiving due to its thickness, it's great how it regulates your temperature, whatever the season. It's definitely one of those products you have to experience to feel the luxury and temperature control. David, I couldn't have put it better myself. I mean, I'm trying. I'm on the air for another hour. But seriously, folks, again, I don't get any benefit from you buying a Mulberry Silk duvet, except I know, you see, I don't mean to sound conceited. When it comes to bedding, in this case, I do know better than you if you haven't got Mulberry Silk. And anyone who's got it now is in the club and they're going to go, yeah, he's right. I knew nothing. What did I know before I bought Mulberry Silk? I am telling you, I am nay guaranteeing, because you've got a money back guarantee, that you will get a better night's sleep. You will have a much better sleep experience with Mulberry Silk than you ever have before with any other kind of bedding. That's what I believe. And again, if it's not true, if that is not the experience you have, you get every penny of your money back except the £4.95 P&P because we have to pay the postman. So, yes, you're paying more. You are paying because it's the best blooming silk money can buy. It's an expensive commodity. We've still managed to keep the prices low. And also, by the way, Ray always talks about his son Martin. Ray from RK Sales, the distributor of these products in the UK. They live in Glasgow. He went to a very famous department store in Glasgow, and they had a Mulberry Silk duvet. There are other Mulberry Silk duvets. However, when he saw the price tag, it was £520 for a king-size duvet. £520. And then he looked at the tag, and turns out it only had 30% Mulberry Silk in it. The rest was filler, which is usually polished cotton. So, yes, if you can find Mulberry Silk duvets, but number one, it's very important you check the label, because the chances are that it is not 100% full-length, unbroken strands of AAA grade Mulberry Silk. And if it is, great, but you will pay probably 3 times as much as these prices. So, why is that? Well, number one, we're not in retail. They're on ITV. We're presenting these on ITV. There are no middlemen, as they used to say. Middle people, as we say now, or Middle Earth, if you like J.R. Tolkien. So essentially, this is the way retail works. It's, you know, if you're not familiar, the manufacturer makes a product, right? And let's say they sell that product for £10, and they sell it to now it might be an agent, and they sell it to the agent for £20, and the agent may then well sell that to a distributor, and they'll sell it to the distributor for £40, doubling every time, right? 100% markup, 50% margin. It's pretty standard. And then the agent will sell it to the wholesaler, and they'll double it. So now we're at £80. And the wholesaler will sell it to the retailer, £160. £10 product to make, £160 in the shops. Now, in its simplest form, it's usually manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer. So I always say to people, if you see a watch in a shop front, whatever it's selling for, it costs a quarter of that to make, right? But there are other considerations, because if it goes into a department store, if it goes into a big, you know, whatever department store you care to think of, they often have slotting fees. So there are fees to literally put the stuff on the shelf. If you're on an end cap, that costs extra. There's often shrinkage because certain things can arrive damaged or missing. So there are fees for that. There are also potentially markdowns if the thing isn't selling. They'll reduce the value of that product and expect a refund. Then there's also, what if they have a TV commercial or maybe a billboard or a full page in a magazine or a newspaper? Costs a lot of money. Celebrity endorsement, paying a celebrity a lot of money for them to sort of wave your product around and say it's great. Who pays for all of that? You do. It goes on the price. Simple. And if it's a designer brand, then after all of that, which is already getting the bill right up there, they charge you a premium for the badge. That's the way it works, the reality of it. I'm just, what else can I tell you? That's how it is. That's how it works in a nutshell, roughly. I'm not an expert at retail, but that's, So here, manufacturer, represented in this country by RK Sales, and they deal directly with Shop on TV. So that whole vertical integration, that we basically eliminate all of those layers of markup, all of those extra layers of profit being given to other people. And we're able to then offer these to you directly at a great price. This is a premium product. Mulberry Silk duvets are hundreds of pounds. If you can get one that is 100% Mulberry Silk made to the same standards as this. So everyone always asks, is there a TOG rating? No, you don't get TOG ratings with natural fibres. Because essentially you can't measure it, because TOG rating is basically how much heat is retained by the covering, right? So you can measure that with something that doesn't dissipate heat. But when you get something that temperature regulates, there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling to measure. You could stick someone under here who runs really hot, And the duvet, the natural temperature regulation, would mean that they would perceive themselves to feel that they were at exactly the right temperature. But also, you could have somebody lying next to you who is really cold, maybe it's got poor circulation or something like that, and is always really cold, and they will get the right bespoke temperature as well. They will feel warm in the winter, and they will feel cooler in the summer. So literally, if it's a hot day, I know it sounds ridiculous, put your duvet. I hear from people that they wrap themselves in their duvet more in the summer than they do in the winter, because it wicks away heat, 30% of its own weight in moisture, and also it regulates temperature. So it can help to cool you down on those hot, clammy nights. So let's just see here. I bought is this all one email, Leslie? Or there are a couple. First is a long one. So from Joe. Okay, so I bought my Mulberry pillow and duvet from when you were the previous version of the shopping channel on ITV. Yes, I remember that. I've tried to forget it, but I still remember it. I use a pillowcase and duvet cover on them, and it genuinely hadn't occurred to me to use something 100% cotton. Yeah. Just bought a pair of plain teal Egyptian cotton pillowcases for $4.50. Very, very. As I said, it's cheap as chips. Okay, thread count. It's only 200. But look, thread counts. There's a lot bandied around about thread count. As long as it's soft enough, and 200, anything over 200 is still luxury, so that's fine. But I'm interested to see how much cooler my pillow will feel once summer lands. A lot, I think you'll find, because polyester's the worst. It really, oh my gosh, it really heats up. He said, so he goes on to say, you're right about buying cheap. Gould knows how many cheap duvets I bought in my life. I'm 59 now. I know. And he says, you're looking really good tonight. Thank you very much. Sorry, she, apologies. Joe. They said Joe, and I was thinking Joe but it's Joe without an E. Oh, Joe, the steampunk model maker in Bradford with 2 cats. Former in Keighley. Oh, blimey, Joe, how are you? It's been ears and ears, isn't it? Please don't use any synthetic fibres on Mulberry Silk. It would be, I'm trying to think of an analogy. It would be like putting icing on a cake and then covering it with cloth. I don't know. That's not a very good analogy, but you get the idea. So Richard says, hi Rob. Hi Richard, how are you? I just ordered a Mulberry Silk pillow, king size duvet and king size mattress topper. Look forward to receiving them. Well done. One thing you've got wrong, the $4.95 P&P for everything in one order is not correct. If you buy the topper, there's an extra £2 charge. Yeah, okay, so no, Richard, that's worth bringing up. So, sorry, I apologise. The bedding all is $4.95 P&P. So, here's the way it works. The first $4.95 you only pay once. Some items, like the topper, and the mattress, for example, is a tenner to ship a mattress. They have additional postage and packing on top. But the first $4.95 is always only paid once. So let's say, with the topper, it's £2 extra, right? So if you bought one topper, it's $4.95 plus the extra £2, so $6.95, yeah? If you bought a second topper, you'd only pay $8.95 postage and packing, just the extra £2, not the first $4.95. If you bought 3 toppers, it would be $10.95, and so on. If you bought a mattress, it would be $15.95, because only the extra £5 is the additional postage and packing. The first $4.95 you only pay once. But if all the products you buy are $4.95, then you pay $4.95 and that's it. Does that make sense? Sorry, I should have clarified that. I do apologise. And it's, do you know, look, if you've just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, we are the shopping show. We are the official shopping show with ITV and STV. And so all these details are here for you to make your purchase. The item number is at the top. That's if you come back later, you can put that item number into the web search, or you can give it to the customer service at 0333241241, and then they'll know that's the product you want to buy. In this particular case, you tell them which size. Obviously, you've got your pricing. We also, PayPal Pay in 3 is available for all of these when you shop online. So you can select PayPal as either as a payment method, or if you want to pay later, select Pay Later when you go to your PayPal account, and it will take you through a process of approval. And once you're approved, the order will go through. Shopontv.co.uk is the website. This is a little box of other additional items we have. You may like, as we call it. And basically, when you call, we accept all major credit and debit cards. Emailing the studio, you can't order by emailing the studio. Our producers, they're just here to run the show. We have nothing to do with order taking here in the studio. You have to either shop online securely, or you have to call customer service and use your credit card or debit card over the phone. Simple as that. And there are operators standing by to take your call right now. And we have a 30-day return policy. And with these, actually, you've got a sort of a lifetime, well, certainly with the duvet, a 10-year guarantee for sure. And if you're not happy, you call RK Sales. All of their information, contact info is on every tag of every product sent out, and they will take care of you, and they will give you every penny of your money back, obviously except the P&P, because we have to pay the postman. Where did we get to? So Allergy UK seal of approval. If you've got any more questions, by the way, over the years I have become fairly knowledgeable, as you hopefully can tell, about Mulberry Silk, because it is my passion project. It is my desert island product. So let's give you all of the information about everything, shall we? So duvets to start with. 100% AAA grade Mulberry Silk, full length fibres inside, up to about 15 miles per duvet, depending on the size of the duvet. Obviously less in the single. In the Super King, it's about 15 miles. So they are $139 for the single, that's our price, $179 for the double, $199 for the King, and $219 rather for the Super King. Proving very popular. The single is about to sell out. If you don't get the single, you will miss it. We've got 5 available and 4 in baskets. You do the maths. Right. The pillows are £40 each, down from 60. So in other words, you're getting a third off by buying them directly from us. If you don't believe me, go to RK Sales. Is it rksales.uk? I think it is. Or .co.uk. I forget. You're welcome to go and have a look. Their prices are their full prices, and you will pay £60 to buy them directly from them. .co.uk, ARKAYSALES.co.uk, rksales.co.uk. They are the official distributor in the United Kingdom for all of the official Mulberry Silk products. And so £40. We also have the pillowcases, 100% silk. Have a look at this. 100% silk, front and back. That reminds me from Friends. Any Friends fans watching? 18 pages. Front and back. And these are silk, front and back. With the exception that inside, one of the sides has a fusion of cotton in the top layer of the silk, and that is purely an anti-slip technology. It's there to make sure when you put your head on the pillow doesn't go ping out the side, because silk is very, very slippery. But remember, it also contains that amino acid sericin, so any of the benefits of pure silk that are known to help with wrinkle reduction or hair frizz, though you're likely to benefit from some or all of those properties too, because if that's what silk does, those are pure silk. So, you know, again, you make the correlation. Can't guarantee that any of that's true or works, but there's probably some science behind it. And if it is science, then that science is helping you when you sleep on one of these. They are also available on PayPal, Pay in 3. Arctic blue even, white, desert, I was just reading the screen. Arctic white desert sage are your colour. So Arctic, white, desert or sage. Sage is that lovely green colour, obviously. And the white is, or sage, the white is the very light black one. And we also have the lovely blue, which is the Arctic, and the sandy desert. They are so gorgeous, they really are. And of course, because they are natural fibre, they are very, very, very breathable. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, the eagle-eyed amongst you, I've had this pillow resting atop my lap for the entire show, for 1 hour. I have not got a hot crotch. I'm not overheating in the underpant area. I am perfectly comfortable, and the ideal temperature for that part of my body. Right? So just to prove the point, or make a point, I've got another email here. Oh, I love these emails. Do come and say hi. Hi, very interesting, says Simon. I have dust mite allergies and really suffer with itchy eyes and eczema. What is the TOG rating of the duvet? Kind regards. Again, obviously Simon's just tuned in, there is no TOG rating with natural fibre. That is, does not apply to silk. What rating? In other words, how warm is it? It's the ideal warmth for you, and that whoever you are, it is going to. It's natural. Silk has natural temperature regulating properties, so it will be. Whether you run hot, whether you run cold, it'll be just the right temperature for you. Make sense? If you have dust mite allergies, you could not have bought a better product for your sleep, because I've never come across any other bedding that has this. Now, this is just a printout that's been laminated, but this Mulberry Silk, let's read it, shall we? The Allergy UK official seal of approval certificate. This is to certify that Mulberry Silk has been awarded the British Allergy Foundation seal of approval for reduction in the exposure to live home dust mite for their product. Mulberry Silk duvet. Now that has been issued for Canada, the UK, the USA. Does that say Ireland? I can't read from this distance. Ireland, the EU, New Zealand and Australia. And also, looky down here, this expires every single year. So July 2025 is when this one expires. Obviously, but they've got the original one. But this has been renewed without fail for over 30 years for Mulberry Silk. And not only that, the British Allergy Foundation can run inspections. They can show up at any time unannounced, and if the manufacturing processes and the quality of the duvets for any reason does not meet their standard at that time, they can withdraw that endorsement immediately. It's never been withdrawn from Mulberry Silk, and it has been renewed continuously for well over 30 years. That's how good this stuff is. I'd have an argument with my son David if he had not accepted sleeping under Mulberry Silk. I'd have called him a right idiot, wouldn't I? I mean, wouldn't I? I might have used a different word. But David, I don't know if this is okay with our director Paul. You're welcome to stand. No, you don't want to come on the telly. No, not feeling it today. Your hair's looking good. Flattery wins every time. I just want you to nod and agree, and whether or not you agree that sleeping under Mulberry Silk was probably the best piece of advice I've ever given you. He doesn't want to walk on. He's got shy all of a sudden.
I agree.
Did you hear that? Did we hear that? Thank you. I really felt your conviction. Honestly, I want people I love and people I care about to sleep under this bedding and on this bedding. I want my parents whom I care about, my elderly 80-plus-year-old. In fact, my dad just turned 84, I think, and my mother's 85, or my dad's 83 and my mum's 84. And this is, seriously, especially during the winter, and because you don't need a separate winter duvet and a separate summer duvet, in all seriousness, we know that life's going to get so expensive eventually, no one will be able to afford it unless you're rich. We're all going to be living in some commune on the street. I look forward to that day. It's just getting ridiculous, isn't it? But so I last winter I heard of horror stories of elderly people switching off their heating because they couldn't afford it. And I'm like, oh my good Lord. But I tell you what, I saved, and in my house, I don't have gas. So we have a separate electricity provider just for hot water and for heating. And it costs a flipping fortune, it really does. So, and again, if my son was cooperating, he would sit here and confirm that we don't put the heating on in the winter. If we get chilly, and sometimes like cold, right? When we're watching telly, I have the single duvet from when I first got it 5 years ago for lockdown, we literally just cover ourselves up with the Mulberry Silk, and we're toasty warm within a few minutes, and we don't have to keep taking the duvet off and putting it back on again, because it gives you the perfect and maintains the perfect, or as close to perfect as you can get, temperature. That's what it does. Now, sorry, Leslie, what were we going to talk about? Now, you see, I do have the mattress protector, which they don't sell anymore on their website. They're obviously out of stock. I think he said they were getting some, but they're on a ship or something. I'm going to ask Ray if he will stock them, because they are great. Now, you can get the mattress topper, but if you're happy with your mattress and you just need the benefits of silk, all you need is the cover. But this is going the whole hog. This is the mattress I just bought. I have a super king size. Now, here's the cool bit. The prices, because we've sold out of the single, we haven't managed to get the single back in stock yet. So let me show you the prices, if I may. So the prices that you see where it says usual price, yes? Those are the prices for the top of the range pillow top version of the mattress, which is the one you see here. However, our prices are the prices of the entry-level basic mattress that Mulberry Silk sell. So they've got 3 different qualities of mattress, like a basic, an intermediate, and the top of the range, which has the pillow top. This pillow top is full of Mulberry Silk in the same way, a full-length, unbroken fibres of Mulberry Silk, AAA grade, in exactly the same way that the duvet has full-length, unbroken strands of AAA grade Mulberry Silk. So again, in a king size, there are miles, probably 15 or so miles of silk in here. Again, Egyptian cotton is your covering. So you are sleeping, essentially, you are sleeping on top of the same benefit as you get from being under a Mulberry Silk duvet. And they are so, so comfortable. Their standard double is $699. So you get the entry level. Actually, we've discounted the prices even more. So actually, you've got the price of the standard plus an additional discount, and you are getting the top of the range. They're so comfortable. They're a medium firm. Just that I'm sure a lot of people will want to know. So you're sleeping on Mulberry Silk, but also there are layers inside the mattress. It is actually, I haven't got it here. They are. Oh, there they are. Oh, I've got them. They are pocket springs. I'll show you in a second. So there are the different layers. So you've got the pillow top, and then you have various protective layers. Yeah, there's a pelt pad. No, there isn't. There's a felt pad for comfort. And the Mulberry Silk, obviously, again, is giving you all of the anti-dust mite properties, and it's giving you all of the temperature regulation, and it's also giving you all of the moisture wicking abilities of the silk, so that, again, you wake up without feeling clammy, without feeling sweaty. The sweat is dissipated, 30% of it's wicked away, and your temperature under you is as ideal as the temperature on top of you when you're using a Mulberry Silk duvet. Protective layer, well, you can see all of that. But here's the important thing. So Mulberry Silk, and I want to say the Mulberry Silk company, why did they just go out and knock together a mattress? Well, they didn't. So I meant to mention this. The official Mulberry Silk Company Limited is actually a Canadian company, and the owner of that is a bedding expert. I mean, he is an absolute genius savant when it comes to bedding. So customers like yourselves actually requested, we love the pillows, we love the duvet. Well, first of all, it was the duvets, then it was the pillows, and I'll tell you a story about the pillows in a moment. And then it was, can we have a mattress? And they were like, okay. So they spent years developing this mattress, testing it, and getting it just right. But people were asked, do you want memory foam or do you want pocket springs? So this is not a serpentine spring like in the old mattresses where all of the springs are joined together and you sit on one side and the person on the other side of the bed gets flipped up in the air. Right? These, as you can see, they eliminate motion transfer because they're individually pocketed box springs, right? And by the way, they're really unlikely to rust, because you've got the Mulberry Silk, which wicks away the moisture. So all that sweat going into the bed isn't going into the springs and making them squeaky. So that's number one. And you have I forget exactly how, I think something like 800, I think, in the Super King. It's a lot. There is a statistic. But so you're sleeping on comfort. They also contour to the shape of your body, because we do not have completely flat sides. We have sticky outy bits. some more than others. And so this is going to allow your sticky outy bits. And also if you're very slim, you may have bones that with a regular serpentine spring mattress, your bones stick into the springs and it's uncomfortable. And what does it do? It interrupts your sleep. And what do? You wake up. And then what do? You feel lousy. And then what do? You're irritable. And then what do? You have a row with the missus or the mister. And then what do? You shout at your kids. And then what do? You alienate your whole family. And then what do? You get kicked out of the house. And then what do? You've got nowhere to go. You've got to go back and stay with the parents. And then they get fed up with you because you really, life sucks. What do? They kick you out. Now you're on the street. And then you get fired from your job. You've got no money. You've got nowhere to live. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I should stop talking about myself right now. Story of my life. It can get really bad if you don't have a Mulberry Silk mattress. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. But you will sleep so well, and you're sleeping on silk. It's just, I can't describe to you how comfortable it is to sleep on this mattress. And again, regular standard size. 8 inches is the depth. Nice deep mattress, wonderful support. Not too firm, not too soft, just right. And if you want, I've mentioned Ray Kennedy from RK Sales all night long. And actually, we've got a little clip of him talking about this mattress. I want you to know this has a 60-day sleep trial, so it's delivered to you for a tenner. Try sending. I sent a little package to my dad, and it cost more than that. The whole mattress comes vacuum formed, rolled up in like a sausage roll, and for a tenner. To put it in your room, take the packaging off, throw all the packaging away. If you can treat this mattress like it's yours for up to 60 days. And if you're not completely satisfied, you make a phone call. They send you a bag to put it in just for transport. Somebody will come and pick it up and take it away. So even if you've got a mattress you think you're satisfied with, but curiosity tonight has been spiked, given everything I've been telling you about Mulberry Silk and its properties, try this for 60 days. And if you're not happy, you will get all your money back, except obviously the 9.95 P&P. It is a superlative mattress. I don't know, I won't have another mattress. I slept for 7 years almost on a mattress that was just about broken my back. Now finally, I'm throwing it away, and I've got myself my cocoon mattress. So, but here is, to explain more to you, direct from the horse's mouth, as they say. I'm sure he won't mind me calling him that. It is the one and only, my friend, and one of the most honest and decent people I've ever known, the owner for 60 years of RK Sales and the official distributor of Mulberry Silk in this country, Ray Kennedy.
This is an extraordinary mattress. It's packed with silk, and because it is packed with silk, it's better, in our opinion, than, say, mattresses which don't have silk in them. Now, how this happened is quite simple. We decided to enter the mattress business roughly about 5 years ago, and we were in a very, very fortunate position, Rob, and I'll tell you why I say that. As you know from previous shows that we have done together over years, as a company, we exhibit at every major retail exhibition in Britain.
Yeah.
And we have done for 65 years. And we talk to the public. When we're live at an exhibition, we talk to the public. And we ask them their likes and their dislikes. And they tell us what they like and they dislike about their bedding. Now, we discovered by asking over a period of about 18 months before we started to manufacture this mattress, we discovered that basically there's two types of mattresses you can get: memory foam or a sprung mattress. Now, some people like memory foam, but we discovered an awful lot of people were unhappy with it. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
It made them too hot, and it tended, in their opinion, to lose shape very quickly.
Yeah.
In actual fact, that happened to my wife and myself. About 9 to 10, 11 years ago, we decided we would like a new mattress. We went to the shop that sells mattresses, and she made me lie in the bed and test it. I lay in the bed for 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, thought this feels okay. Bought one, paid, I think, it was roughly close to £1,000 anyway for it, had it delivered, and 3 or 4 months after we had it delivered, I discovered I didn't really like it at all. I was overheating on it, and it lost shape very quickly, and I was sinking into a hollow within this memory foam mattress. So I was of the same opinion as the public, that based on the information we had gained over 18 months by talking to the public at roughly 100 retailer outlets every year, that springs were really much better than memory foam to have in a mattress.
But as we've already said, there are different types of spring.
Yeah.
Maybe we haven't really covered that. Well, there are different types of
Yes,
spring.
of course.
aren't there?
Well, the old-fashioned sprung mattresses, the springs within the mattress were very large in diameter. Each one was joined to the one next door, and they had a serpentine rail that ran round the outer. Now, the problem then was, of course, I weigh about 19, 20 stone. My wife weighed roughly 10 stone. And when I turned over in bed, the springs, because they were all joined together, you got motion transfer. When I turned over, she ended up rolling over on top of me and bumping into me.
Sometimes the only way you can get a cuddle,
It's the
isn't
only
it?
way you can get a cuddle. Rob, I've been married 48 years. You don't get many cuddles after 48 years. I can assure you. So what we decided to do as a company, we decided to manufacture a modern mattress with pocket springs.
Right.
Now, this is a cut-down version of what's inside this mattress. This is the pocket springs that you will find inside this mattress. Unlike the old-fashioned springs, these stand on their own. They are not joined together. Now, this is a medium firm support mattress. When you sleep in this, your body is going to be supported. You're not going to sink into a hollow.
Right.
It's not going to lose shape. It cannot lose shape.
Yes.
Because there's so many springs within the mattress. I think from memory, in a king, there's roughly 800 springs, which is quite a lot.
And they all contour, they fit the contours.
Yes, well, I'll show you this. This might interest the viewers. You'll find, because they all stand independently, the only springs that move in this mattress are the springs where the weight is directly above that particular spring. And to give you some indication of what I mean, if I press this spring down right in the corner, flat as a pancake, the springs either side don't move.
Right.
They simply don't move because they're individual pocket springs.
So many of you are putting the mattresses into your basket. Look, mattresses are a funny thing because we often change our mattresses when we move, don't we? And oftentimes, excuse me, we don't change our mattresses at all. When I moved back to the UK in 2018, my dad, I slept on my sister's mattress from when she was a kid. It's 30-something years old. Oh, it was awful. Full of God knows what. But anyway, if you can, if it's in your budget, you know, at the end of the day, this is about quality of life. And what price do you put on your quality of life? As I say, we'll spend money on a nice sofa, you know, a nice air fryer. We'll buy, I mean, I bought a gaming console, a really stupidly expensive TV and surround sound system, which I absolutely love. So, you know, you spend fortunes on keeping your quality of life as high as possible when you're awake. But yeah, when we go to sleep, and it's so important to have a good night's sleep, if you're not sleeping well, then your quality of life when you're awake is massively affected, isn't it? Right? So when you look at these prices, they are superb. So, you know, 500 quid for a Super King. I went to a very famous sleep store and bought, when I first moved back, and I bought 2 mattresses. I was put on this special measuring device that went beep, boop, 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 beep, calculating. And then it said, you need a firm mattress. I'm like, really? 20-something stone, I need a firm mattress. I wouldn't have known that if I'd not come in today. And the salesperson was, do you know, we've actually got a mattress just right for you. And I thought, really, in a bedding store? Well, there's a coincidence. So they were on autumn sale. My son's was 900 quid, half price 450. Mine was 1,000, half price 500. So I was like, I didn't know any better at that time. I'm like, oh, all right, fine, I'll get them. And it had I think a 3-day money back or a 3-day cooling off period. 3 days. 2 or 3. It was something stupid. Might even just have been 48 hours. I don't recall exactly. So first night I slept in it, and I woke up in the morning, and my back felt like somebody had gone at it with a sledgehammer. I was like, my God, what the heck's going on? And I thought, oh, it's just me. I slept funny, right? And the second night it was the same. And I thought, well, no, I'll just persevere. I'm sure, it can't be like this forever. So the window of returning it had gone away. 7 years later, I have not slept. I relish when I get to go and stay in a hotel, because I have hated every single night's sleep that I've had on that bed since I bought it. It's awful. And also, Serpentine Springs, all the springs they're all sunken now and disformed, and they stick in me, and I I've got a bum shape where I sit up in bed. Awful. And I didn't know what to buy. I was so scared to buy another mattress for fear of buying something equally bad and spending more money. I was like, well, you spend more money, you think you get a better mattress. But look, you can go buy a £3,000 mattress. It's still got Serpentine Springs in it with a fancy covering. This mattress is different. You're sleeping on silk. You've got pocket springs that are designed to eliminate motion transfer. You've got the temperature regulation of the Mulberry Silk. You've got the moisture wicking. You've got all of these benefits, and it's a really comfortable night's sleep. Plus, you've got to get down a little bit before you even get to the springs. So the chances of the springs ever malforming, misshaping, are very, very slim. And I believe, and it's a 10-year guarantee. Did I mention 10-year guarantee? 10-year guarantee with the mattress. So again, and you've got amazing customer service. If you ever have any problem with your mattress, you call them, they will take care of you. But you can sleep on it for up to 60 days and decide before you say, all right, I'm going to keep it. Now, if everyone checks out, 2/3 of the stock of the pillow, so only a third left. Pillow, we've got half an hour left on the air. Pillow could go limited. It might sell out conceivably. We only started with, I think, 193. And obviously we started late. We were on air at 1 o'clock this morning. So, the audience was not as big as it normally is if we're on at midnight. But it has been very busy tonight. And can I just say thank you for trusting me? I really appreciate that you trust that what I'm saying is true. And I promise you it is true. But even if it wasn't, you've got an unconditional money-back guarantee from RK Sales that you'll get your money back, every penny except the P&P. Now, here's something important to note. They've been in business for 60 years. They'd have gone out of business rather quickly if they were selling rubbish, because it would have been returned. And once a mattress is returned, or a pillow is returned, or a duvet is returned, they can't just give it a wash and then send it out to another customer. They have to destroy them. You can't even give pillows and duvets away to like the Sally Army or to shelters or anything now. They won't take them because they're bedding. You can't return pillows to a shop once you've bought them. You can return these if you're not happy. Doesn't matter if you slept on it or not. Doesn't matter if your pets have done cartwheels on it. You will get your money back if you're not happy. So you've got to check out. Please check out as soon as you can on the pillow. And actually, we had a question from Danny. Oh no, Danny just says, Jenny wants a pillow. Well, Danny, my recommendation is that you get her one. Danny, can I? Closer. I wish you could see that poor cameraman Rich he's in such an awkward position. I don't know how he's managing to do such a smooth zoom in from. Oh, he's very good at his job, isn't he? Closer, please. I can wait. He's got a focus as well. He's doing everything. Oh, he's so good. He's tracking, he's focusing, he's zooming. He's a man of many talents. Danny, if you buy Jenny a pillow, she's going to be very happy. Oh yeah. I mean, don't even tell her about all the magical properties that Mulberry Silk has. She will notice something is different, something is better. And then feel free to regale all of the information I've given you tonight. But no, seriously, get her one. Get yourself one, Danny. What are you doing? You can't have Jenny having a Mulberry Silk pillow and you don't have one. You both need a better quality of sleep. I'm here to stand up for the rights of sleepers everywhere. You shall go to the ball, Cinderella. You shall have a blooming good night's sleep afterwards, Cinderella, as long as you sleep on your mulberry silk bedding. Good. Right. Tim says, my cat plumps up our feather duvet. Will a silk duvet be damaged by his actions? Great show, by the way. Thank you. Tim, I don't know how vicious your cat is. Look, it's a cotton cover. If they get their claws out and have a go at it, it's potentially going to, yes, it's going to damage the cotton. But plumps, the other feather duvet, they're pretty resilient. So I would say if, well, actually, Leslie, our producer, has 2 cats. And actually, you know what's more likely to happen? Because they love her mulberry silk duvet. What's more likely to happen is you're going to get turfed out of bed and the pets will take over. Because pets love the benefits of sleeping on a mulberry silk duvet. They probably get too hot on other types of bedding, but mulberry silk, they'll be just right. They'll get the same benefits that you do. And so, yeah, I would suggest that just don't let them in the bedroom, because otherwise you'll never be able to get into bed again. Hi, Rob. Wave. Oh, maybe that's somebody. Oh, sorry. I'll read the whole message, shall I? That was Ren in Essex waving to me, but I'm waving back, Ren. What's this? That's a microwave. Please, could you explain what the straps are on the corners of the mulberry silk duvet? Thanks in advance. Ren in Essex watching on YouTube. Thank you. Yes, do subscribe at Shop on TV Live and click the bell icon. So the straps, some duvet covers have little buttons in the corners so you can anchor them in, and that's to allow you to tie them onto the anchors in the corner. Or what I also use them when I'm putting the duvet in, as I can hold onto the little corners and make sure that I pull the duvet cover down over the duvet. So many people have different ways of putting their duvet into their duvet covers. I think it's a ritual that is unique to each and every person. So I believe that's what they're for. They're to anchor them into your duvet cover. Alan says, hi Rob. Hi Alan, how are you? Just ordered my mulberry silk pillow. Can't wait to try it out. Thank you for the recommendation. You're very welcome. I was saying earlier, I don't get anything out of you buying these, but the one thing I do get, and I mean this genuinely, it's going to sound like a load of old whatever, but I mean it. The reason that I continue to do this job is, well, the money, obviously. But, you know, to a degree, that's true. But also because I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. And maybe that's a selfish thing, I don't know. But I never forget, when I work, those who remember me from 1994, I think it was, when I worked for the original shopping channel, and I was sort of like the third wave of presenters, one of the originals that worked there. And we had a customer appreciation day. And so our top customers came to the studios, and we had a big symposium of products and a wine and dine kind of situation. And so for the first time ever, I actually got to talk to people who were buying products from that company and also from shows I presented. And it changed my life. It really, really did. It made me realise the responsibility I have as a broadcaster in that type of style of transactional television, as they call it. But also what it means when somebody buys something that really changes their life. And I suppose, had a bit of a hand in that. And that really makes me feel humbled, and I really appreciate the good vibes, if you like, that come from that. There is a story. I don't know if I should tell this story. I will. Why not? Please understand that I tell this story with the love that it was told to me. So I met a couple, and they came up to me and said, Rob, we love watching you. We really appreciate everything you do. We've bought loads of stuff from you. You've been right. All your recommendations have been spot on. You know, we trust everything that you say because you always tell the truth, and I do, by the way. And then the lady pointed to her husband and said, you know, my husband has terminal cancer. And that was interesting is not the right word. It was the first time I'd ever actually met anyone who was in that situation. But she said that he had not supposed to have been around as long as he was, but they attributed the fact that he had lived longer because of the joy that he got or derived from watching me on television. As one of the factors, obviously. I'm not claiming responsibility for any, or they're not saying that, it was just me. But I thought, wow, that's really heavy. That changed my life, that did. It really, really did. And it made me realise there is an enormous amount of trust between me, what I say here, because there are some shifty people out there in the world, and they'll try and flog you anything for a buck, right? And I don't play that game. I'm very honest about myself that I was very dishonest when I was in my 20s. I've always had the gift of the gab. I've always been able to have this ability to influence other people. And I studied influence and persuasion and those sorts of things, those psychological techniques, human behavioral science and blah, 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 for many, many years. And so I made a decision in my life, because I was such a tinker in my 20s, that I would never ever lie. I would literally stop lying altogether. And I've always kept that up. Now sometimes, even if it's a white lie, you have to come up with creative ways around it. But I never, ever, 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 hand on heart, swear to God, swear to all the people I love, will lie directly to you about something that isn't true, or say something to you that isn't true. Because it's just not the way I roll. I'd rather be honest. And so somebody said to me years ago, I'm far too honest to be in this business. But look, and what you see with me is what you get. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I offend some people sometimes by accident, never intentional. I always have your best interests at heart. I do. I genuinely do. When I'm doing this job, I have your best interests at heart. And I'm telling you, and you can disagree with me all day long, because I guarantee if I gave you one of these duvets to sleep under and one of these pillows to put your head on for a night, free, the next day you'd go, okay, fine, fair enough, Rob, here's my money. You would. It's as simple as that. And I don't know anyone. Now look, everyone's different. There is undoubtedly someone in the world that will not enjoy a Mulberry Silk duvet or a Mulberry Silk pillow. And they'll prefer to sleep on spikes and, I don't know, toenail clippings. But that's always the case. But for the vast majority of people, I know if you got to try this for free, you wouldn't part with it. And the fact that, Allergy UK certificate of approval, anyone with allergies, or just anyone who doesn't want to lie on a duvet full of dust mites. I mean, they're harmless. Their poo actually is what is the allergen for some people. But it's the only duvet I know, or the only bedding I know, that carries that Allergy UK seal of approval. And again, dust mites just don't like to live in silk. They essentially, it's like, I used the analogy earlier, it's like the Sahara Desert. We couldn't survive in the Sahara Desert for very long at all. So some may wander in, but they will leave quickly. And that's what you get with this bedding. The fact that if you think about it, you've got a silkworm. In China, which gets very hot and very cold, you've got strong winds and rains and, I don't know, to have monsoons over there, I don't know. But also there are loads of, because it's a warm, the climate means that there are lots of predators that are trying to eat the worm. So they spin this cocoon while they're metamorphosing into a moth, because it protects them and it keeps them just the right temperature. Otherwise they would die. It's their method of survival. And that has now been harvested to be used in bedding that we get those same benefits from. So it's very strong, it's very tough, it's very durable, but you get the temperature regulation. And again, there is, I'm sure, some science to it. You never overheat with a Mulberry Silk duvet that I'm aware of. You never wake up feeling clammy or sweaty, because 30% of its own weight will be worked away in moisture. You have the durability. It's the second strongest natural substance known to man. It has a sort of like for like, size for size. It has a higher strength than steel, and the only thing that is stronger than it, like for like, is spider's web. So, and this duvet's got a 10-year guarantee, a 2-year guarantee on the pillow, by the way. You try and all with an unconditional money back guarantee. So if anything I've said turns out, if you disagree with me, or you think it's rubbish, or you think I haven't been completely honest with you, you can send it back and get a full refund. If nothing else, that's going to prompt me to be honest with you, right? Because otherwise, it'll just all come back. Now, this pillow, can I tell you a quick story about the pillow? There aren't many left in stock if you want to get it. So the duvets were created first. They were the original product, right? And the customers at the last channel I worked at, this is going back probably some 10 years, and they asked for a pillow. Can we have a pillow? So again, this genius savant that owns the Mulberry Silk, the official Mulberry Silk Company Limited, went away and designed the pillow. And in the first year of trading, 85,000 people bought the pillow, roughly 86, I think it was. Now, there was a survey, quite a well-known survey, you can look it up if you want, that was done about pillows and consumers and their pillows. And I forget, was it Which, or it was one of those sorts of, you know, companies, the sort of survey companies that did this, funny enough, survey. And it was estimated that if people could return their pillows, and you can't, by the way, 66% would. Because let's face it, who's really ever completely satisfied with their pillow? Can you honestly look at the TV screen and look into my eyes? Look into my eyes. No, not above my eyes, below my eyes, in mine. Can you honestly say, hand on heart, that you're happy with the pillow you're using now, if you haven't got a Mulberry Silk pillow? The answer is probably no. Because feather, you put your head on it and all the feathers part, like the Red Sea or the Dead Sea. Which one was it? Red or Dead? I forget. And you end up sleeping pretty much on pretty much sleeping with your head on the mattress. So then you stack pillows on top of each other. Then you get this superheating fabric or filling that's surrounding your head. You get all sweaty. You're pillow punching. You're doing the Superman pose with your arm under the pillow. And it's awful. I mean, so I needed support and I needed comfort. I could get comfort but not support, or I could get support and not comfort. I bought firm pillows when I first moved back to the UK, and they gave me the support, but they were blooming uncomfortable. And then once all started sweating, all the bacteria built up, all the dust mites and what have you, they started to flatten, harden, couldn't wash them because of course they were synthetic fibre, they just would have been useless. And they got to a point it was like sleeping on a log. So I threw them away, and it was awful. And again, terrible night's sleep every single time. So I absolutely, if I could have returned those, would have. So when this was first put on sale, and in that first year of trading, 86,000 people bought it. Guess how many were returned? 19. 1, 9. Well, that's not 9. 1, I haven't got enough hands. 1, 9. 19 individual pillows. Not percent. 1, 9 individual pillows, which is approximately 0.001 or 2%, because for the first time people found a pillow they loved. And that's what this pillow is. This is the pillow that finally will solve that problem that probably most of you watching now have encountered, and that is you've never found a pillow that's truly, honestly comfortable. That's why travel with it, take it wherever you go. I mean, I know that I have Mulberry Silk bedding. Anywhere I'm likely to lie my head, I will, if I possibly can, will have Mulberry Silk bedding with me. And remember, 2-year guarantee, and it's got an unconditional money-back guarantee. You can sleep on this for a couple of weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks, whatever you like. If you're not happy, all the contact info's here. You call RK Sales, and they'll give you all of your £40 back. The only thing it's cost you is the postage and packing. And like I say, if you're not sure about Mulberry Silk, if you're just so sceptical, that's good. I want you to be sceptical, actually, because then what your expectations will be exceeded. And then you'll come back, and this is the mistake most people make. They just buy one thing, like a pillow, and that's fine. And then they go, Rob was right. And then they come back to get more, and they've sold out. Or the duvets have sold out. Or, usually everyone who gets at least gets one item of Mulberry Silk ends up then eventually getting all of it, because it's that good. And you're investing in you. You're not paying this money for a pillow. You're paying this money for a much better for the best night's sleep you can get, really. Remember, environment's one thing. You control that as much as you can, but your bedding, the mattress you sleep on, the pillow you put your head on, and the duvet you sleep under have an absolutely enormous effect on the quality of your sleep. And all of this has an absolutely enormous effect on improving the quality of your sleep. They make you a better you. And and I'm really guilty of this. When David, my son, was a kid, we thought, well, he's a kid, you know, they're resilient, and we bought cheap stuff. That's all we could afford at the time. We bought cheap stuff for him, you know, a sort of a self-assembled bed, and the mattress that came with it, which was rubbish old mattress. And a lot of people do that, don't they? And then what happens? You know, your kids wake up in the night, if you have them, or a kid, and they're like, I can't sleep, I'm too hot, go to sleep, you know. And it's, well, yeah, they probably are. They have the same problems of duvet on, duvet off, duvet on, duvet off all night, and discomfort and heat and sweating and blah, 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 as you do. But remember, this is the duvet and the pillow, or the duvet particularly, keeps you warm in the winter, properly warm, and cool in the summer, properly cool. And so, I mean, we want our kids to go to school and concentrate and do well and get all of their GCSEs and maybe A-levels and maybe go to university. And we want to, generally speaking, want our kids to have the best quality of life possible. We want to give them everything we didn't have if we didn't have anything when we were kids. And so, how about, you know, treat them to a good night's sleep, and that might actually improve their concentration when they're at school and they're not tired and flagging and, you know, and not doing well in their studies. It's so important. Focus for you as well when you're working. You know, if you're tired, you can't concentrate. It's the worst thing in the world, isn't it? To try and do a job, particularly if it involves operating, you know, they say don't operate machinery and things like that if you're tired. You drive down the motorway, tiredness kills is everywhere. Well, the way that you overcome tiredness, I looked this up, and apparently it's sleep. I know, you know, maybe we've been doing it wrong, but you've got to have a good night's sleep. You've got to have a full night's sleep. So a sleep cycle is about 90 minutes, I believe. Again, I'm no sleep expert, but there are 5 stages of sleep. And if you had a dream and you think, I've had a nice deep sleep because I was dreaming. No, that's the first layer just before you wake up. So actually, you tend to have most of your dreams just before you wake up. But no, you need to get into that deep, I think it's theta band sleep or something like that, where you're completely motionless. And in actual fact, you're supposed to wake up almost in the same position as you were in when you went to sleep. The bedding should not have been moved very much. If you wake up and your bedding's all over the place, you've had a bad night's sleep. When you wake up with a Mulberry Silk duvet and you find that the duvet's hardly moved and you've hardly moved, you had a good night's sleep. And you just know, because you'll wake up naturally, you'll feel good, and it's all about feeling good. Now, with this bedding, feeling good is included for free. Ooh. Thank you very much. Any more emails? Oh, I have a blank screen. My screen is, as it started, completely blank. So look, don't trust me just because I'm telling the truth. Please don't trust me just because I've been sleeping with Mulberry Silk products for 5+ years. Don't trust me just because I've tried every other duvet and pillow you can imagine. You know, I'm the presenter at this channel that is not allowed to sell other pillows or present other pillows. Well, I mean, occasionally I have to, but because I'm, again, too honest for this business. Now, there is another pillow that we sell. It's the Morel. It's very good. It is a very good pillow. Brilliant pillow, actually. So I'm not knocking it. And we would not sell inferior pillows on the channel. And it's a great pillow for different reasons. But it's not a Mulberry Silk pillow, and it's you know, I can't give it the same endorsement that I give a Mulberry Silk pillow because it doesn't have the properties a Mulberry Silk pillow has. So I'm very impressed with what it is as a product, and I'd certainly recommend it if that's your preference, if the benefits that offers is your preference. But this is the all-rounder. This is the ticks every box. This is the one that wins in every category. You know, this is the one that gets the Oscar every year. For directing, acting, producing, writing, cinematography, I mean everything. It's such a good pillow. And machine washable. I don't know many pillows you can put in the washing machine. 30 degrees, you can use irregular detergent, it could be powder, it could be liquid, it could be a tablet. You can use fabric softener if you want to. Again, just please don't ever use bleach or the oxy whitening products if it's the powder form, because they're too harsh on the silk. However, I know Vanish make one, I'm sure others do, that is a liquid gel that is approved for use with silk. And so, because in the summer when you still sweat. Even though the pillow absorbs and wicks it away, you still sweat onto the outer case. So the pillows can get discoloured and slightly yellowed. I put them in the washing machine, 30 degrees. Actually, I do mine on 40. And a bit of the oxy whitening gel, regular detergent, what do you call it, laundry liquid, and they come up good as new. They really honestly do. And actually I find as they dry, they dry whiter, they get whiter and whiter. And I literally on my clothes horse, I lay one out. It takes about 2 hours for the pillow to dry because it's a lot of condensed silk. But they do dry very, very easily, very, very well naturally, and then back in the pillowcases and off we go. All the duvets are machine washable. I guess I wash these maybe once every month, once every couple of months. And so it's like having a fresh pillow. But also, it's not like you're washing away dust mites and bacteria and things like that, because they don't like to live in these pillows. It's just to freshen them up. In fact, more than anything else, you're really freshening the cotton more than you're freshening the silk. Silk, one of the best things for the silk, actually, I mean, obviously the washing is, but if you can stick them outside for, if you've washed them out on the washing line, hang them up on the washing line for the duvets, the pillows, all of that, on a nice sunny day. And the UV actually is really good at sort of helping to sterilise and cleanse the silk. So you always get a fresh pillow. And I've had my pillows now 5 years, and honestly, they're every bit as good today. They never flatten. They never lose their form, their shape, their function, their loft, their support, because this is the pillow that does give you support and comfort. You get both. It's the only pillow I know. Well, actually, the other one we sell gives you both as well. But this one is the only washable, natural silk, the natural fibre made from premium quality silk. And by the way, we had some questions about and some comments, interestingly, that apparently some of the department stores do put TOG ratings on their silk products. Do you know why that is? Because the first thing everyone asks with a silk duvet, what's the TOG rating? How many times have we had that asked tonight? And they probably just put it on there because they don't want people to keep asking. But also, and this is the other thing, check the labels, because there might be a TOG rating on those products because they only have a very small percentage of actual silk in them, and they're usually little offcuts or little sections. These are full-length strands of 100% full-length, unbroken silk. So that's, again, very likely why that's the case, but check the label, because you can say it's a Mulberry Silk duvet if it has some Mulberry Silk in it, but often the rest is polished cotton. So to get a 100% pure silk like this, those are unbroken strands, 1 to 2 miles long. And there are probably, sort of 14, 15 miles per duvet. And that's why that little vanity thing is there. That window serves no purpose other than to give you peace of mind and satisfaction of knowing what's in your duvet. And if two duvets left in the single. If you want the single, you must check out now. The single one's great for sitting on the sofa in front of the telly. Perfect. It's great on a single bed as well, but those are going to go, so do get those. I hope I've made my point clear tonight. Also, people were looking up AAA grade. So AAA grade is the very highest quality silk. There are other sort of delineations of silk. They're just not, AAA is considered the very, very finest, and I think it's quite rare to find AAA Mulberry Silk, to be honest. And again, sometimes if it's a lower grade or if it's a different grade to AAA grade, then that just means that it isn't the same quality. It's probably fed on different, well, if it's Mulberry Silk, it has to be fed on mulberry leaves, but it could be the red or the black mulberry leaves. If it's not Mulberry Silk, it's just silk, then who knows what it's fed on. You know what I mean? And the quality is not going to be as good as this. You cannot buy better quality silk than the silk that is in these products. AAA grade is Mulberry Silk is the absolute finest of the finest. And, it'll last you. That's the great thing. You buy good quality, it lasts you. But also, it's going to do the one thing that eludes most of us for most of or all of our lives. It's going to help give you the best night's sleep you've ever had, honestly. So it really just comes down to, it's not about whether you want to own a pillow, whether you want to own a duvet. It's about whether you want to sleep better. And actually, the truth is, and I leave you with this thought, if you haven't slept with a Mulberry Silk duvet or pillow, you possibly don't even know what a truly good night's sleep is. So why don't you do yourself a favour and find out? Check out your baskets. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the messages tonight. I've thoroughly enjoyed the show. I hope that you have too. And we'll get to do it all again tomorrow night with some different products. So join me at 1:07 a.m. from me, Rob Locke with an E. Good night.